What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're jumping into X-Men, the Onslaught Revelation, issue number 1. Now, if you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on in this line, it is imperative that you check out Way of X. Lucky for you, I have that covered, so be sure to check out the link in the description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything happening in this line. And we are seeing the X-Men's greatest foe, mankind's primal evil, slithering into the minds of the most senior leaders. And with all of the youngins whispering of a crucible, a party to end everything. And so it's up to Nightcrawler and Legion to save all of Krakoa. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we're picking up with currently having Xavier inside of the system. With him inside of the system, we have Magneto who is keeping guard on him. And right now, all of the mutants of Krakoa, they are headed in one direction. Everybody's saying that they have a great idea, not elaborating on what that is specifically, but they're all heading in one direction, to some kind of huge gathering. And as everybody is walking, we see Pixie, but with purple smoke surrounding her, she is gone in a poof. Teleporting through one portal to the next, they eventually land themselves in some kind of dark abyss. And inside of this place, we see Fabian Cortez and Lost. And of course, right now, Pixie, she's freaking out. She has no idea where she is. She has no idea why these two are down here with her. But Legion tries to calm her and lets her know that she has been compromised. And with her still discombobulated, Nightcrawler starts to go into detail, letting them know that this all happens when you die. Because Cerebro, it records your mind on a Monday, and if you die on a Wednesday, that Tuesday seems to just disappear. And this is what Onslaught has been consuming, these little offcuts of life. And with each day, he is growing stronger and stronger. And in those gaps, after he's consumed that day, he leaves traces of himself behind, kind of working like a puppet master. And of course, she's obviously confused. She doesn't really know what they're talking about or who they're talking about. But then all of it clicks. And with it clicking, we see Onslaught surface. And Onslaught, he finds this kind of comical. His half-brother Legion being able to purge the priest's mind, being able to purge Nightcrawler's mind. Onslaught is simply not concerned with that, because as it stands, he has his claws in thousands of mutants right now. But Legion is going to be the last one to get the laugh in this situation. Because while Onslaught may think he has an opportunity to take something over here, he doesn't realize that this is the mind of Legion, and they have brought him to what they are calling the altar, a place where all minds are now one. And this is something that we have seen Legion been currently working on, trying to create what he calls a new paradise. We could call this heaven. If Onslaught were to be perceived as the devil, if he is the evil of Krakoa, then Legion's mind, it is the safe haven, it is the protection zone. And inside the altar, inside of Legion's mind, they hold the true power. And so at least for the time being, the mind of Pixie has been won. Onslaught has been defeated in this mind, but currently he is still reigning over Krakoa, still having control of Charles Xavier, of Magneto. And on Krakoa, currently Charles Xavier, he is deleting all of the backups. Because this is what Onslaught wants to do. He wants to delete all of the backups, and then he wants to kill all of the mutants. In doing this, it will give him all of the power that he needs. This will be able to help him rise again, to be at his full strength. And if you want to know who to blame for Onslaught, if you want to know who to blame for all of this, you only have to look at humanity. You only have to look at Orcus. They are the ones perpetrating all of this. They are the ones that sent an individual into Krakoa, all in an attempt to be able to destabilize the nation, to cause Krakoa's inevitable downfall. And with all of the backups now being deleted, with all of this going on, Onslaught lording over everything that is going on, with this crucible about to take place, everybody partying, everybody dancing, having the time of their lives, not realizing that if they die tonight, if it all ends right here, all of mutantkind could be taken out in one single breath. And that is what caused Legion to create this little pocket universe, to create the altar, with him sequestering himself, his physical self, on the summit of Olympus Mons. The abstract and functional, limitless space that he has composed is accessible to all mutants via the temple gate at Araco. And that's all thanks to the Krakoan portal seed that he planted inside of his mind. Now this is where we pick up with Nightcrawler and Fabian Cortez. Now Fabian Cortez, he had very specific instructions that when Nightcrawler was resurrected, he reminded him of what he called the spark. Saying that word to him, it triggered an epiphany, the idea that he has been seeking for so long. And Fabian Cortez, hearing enough of this, he wants to know why he is stuck down here. Why him and Lost of all people? And Nightcrawler lets him know that it's pretty simple. Lost right now, she hates you because you are the one responsible for the death of her parents. Now at this point, of course, Fabian Cortez, he's freaking out. He wants to be able to get back to Krakoa, but that's simply something that's not going to happen. Because today, Fabian Cortez, he is going to learn something about himself that he never truly understood. Fabian Cortez is going to be the key to saving all of Krakoa with the help of Lost and the help of Dust. And we see both of these individuals, they go falling, experiencing extreme turmoil, experiencing extreme violence, being introduced to situations that would just absolutely terrify anybody, and going through all of these different stages of torture and torment. At this point, Fabian Cortez, he's believing that he is in hell, that he has died, he's gone to hell, and this is all his punishment. But this is when Nightcrawler, he points out something that is very important here, that through all of this, through everything going on, right now, Lost is holding your hand, Fabian. She's holding his hand because he is scared. The individual she holds responsible for killing her parents is holding your hand right now. And Legion goes on to tell them that they're not dead. They have simply kidnapped them. With all of the Onslaught infected individuals busy doing their big plan down there, they took that opportunity to grab these two quietly. And Nightcrawler, he continues on with his first sermon. And while he is doing that, he has sent Pixie out to try to help free some individuals. And she does that using the Soul Dagger. And this dagger, it essentially is severing the tie that Onslaught has with everybody. The control that he has, those strings that are attached to each individual's mind. This is cutting them free of it. But she's not sure if she is going to be able to do everything she needs in time. Because as it stands, this crucible, the plan that is enacting at midnight, is that everybody is going to kill themselves or kill each other. It's all going to be for the thrill, all believing that they're going to be resurrected, that they'll be able to wake up, everything will be completely fine. And this is something that we've seen building up over quite some time now. Even if Onslaught hadn't controlled everybody, this may have already transpired anyway, because the young mutants, they've been taking advantage of the ability to resurrect, so much so that they think it's a joke to have humans kill them, watch them suffer in anguish, and have a great laugh about it as people around them record and so on and so forth. And so with Pixie freeing some individuals, freeing some mutants, she's still got a task ahead of her. She's still got to find a way to stop Xavier before he wipes out everybody. And Nightcrawler, he's currently giving his sermon, talking to both Lost and Fabian, and telling Fabian that his biggest flaw through everything that he has done and everything he is, his biggest flaw is his pride. And Fabian Cortez, while at first he's very angry about hearing this news, he recognizes that he's got to be honest with himself. And at the end of the day, it's something that has really just drove at him and made him hate himself for quite some time. Because he's not an individual that tricks himself or fools himself into believing that he's not an individual from privilege. When all the other individuals were getting their mutant powers, when his came to be, he was excited for them because it was a chance to get more power. finally having something to fight for, something to use. But when he went to use his powers, he learned that he was nothing more than a charging port, an individual that amplifies other people's powers. And so recognizing this about himself, recognizing that he would get seen as nothing more than a joke, not having the powers that could be astronomical, he's simply charging other people up. And so he figured if he was going to live in somebody else's shadow, if he was going to live a life like this, he was going to find the biggest shadow he could find. And that's where he got entangled with Eric. That's why he became Magneto's side, becoming his left hand. And throughout the years, he kept him powered up, kept him strong, made him look like a freaking god. For good, for bad, it did not matter. At the end of the day, he felt like he mattered. Because whatever Magneto was accomplishing, he also felt like was his accomplishment as well. And that's where we pick up with Pixie and Magneto. Magneto currently under the control of Onslaught, and he is guarding Xavier, protecting him while he wipes all the mutants from the drives, wiping them from Cerebro completely. And as these two confront each other, Magneto, he does his best to overcome Onslaught, but he lets Pixie know if she comes any closer, he will not be able to control himself and he will have to end her permanently. But this is why Pixie was chosen. Because of that Soul Dagger, because it's not made of metal, which means she will be able to take on Magneto, and she may very well be able to rid Onslaught in his mind. And that's exactly what she does. As these two confront each other, she throws that dagger directly into his head. With Magneto now being free of the grasp of Onslaught, we see Charles Xavier make a run for it. And so with those two going chasing after Xavier, we pick up with Fabian Cortez. And we're seeing him really have a revelation, really just being truthful and honest with himself, with who he is, what he has become, and the person he is. And with him in this state, we see Lost grab his hand. And Lost tells him, she can't forgive him, not for the things that he has done, but as it stands right here in this moment, she does not hate him. And with her saying those words, we see a light blast out of her face. And Nightcrawler is telling Fabian that he did a great job. And as for our party going on, the mutants that Pixie was able to release, they're able to convince everybody to not stop this party, but to continue this party in another location. Somewhere even more radical, somewhere even more fun, that they can party all throughout the night and still continue doing everything they want. Now, Onslaught only planting ideas into their minds, not having necessarily complete control of them, they all think that this is also a grand idea. It still goes along with what Onslaught wanted, just in a different location. And as all of these mutants start to pour into Legion's mind, into this little pocket universe, into this place that is known as Alter, Fabian Cortez is still absolutely confused on what the heck is going on right now. But Legion and Nightcrawler, they let us know that Fabian is responsible for all of this. He is the one that made this plan possible. Because in the Altar, all of the minds are one, if you want to be. And when he woke up from his coma, he showed them what Marionette had said as they were falling from the sky. And what she said is that she was used by the humans. She was poked, she was prodded, she was experimented on for years, not knowing how Orcus got a hold of any kind of sliver of Onslaught, but somehow they did. And with doing this, they implanted it inside of Lost. Now, they didn't plant it in her mind or her bicep or anything like that. They planted it in an emotion. They planted it in her hatred. Using this as a Trojan horse, it slowly started infecting each individual in Krakoa. And we see Lost just cured of her hatred. And with doing that, they smoke out the devil himself. And this is where we see Onslaught. Now, of course, Onslaught, he's not happy about this situation. The bloodbath he wanted to happen, it didn't happen. Not in the way he wanted. Nobody is out there killing themselves or each other yet. And so right now, he wants to enact some kind of revenge to make them pay for what they just did. Because at the end of the day, nothing is going to stop him from killing all of the mutants and gaining the power that he wants. And so we see him impose his will upon two hosts. And with both Magneto and Xavier, we see Onslaught rise. And all around him, we see mutants with blood coming out of their nose, their eyes, their ears, every orifice of their body. And so now Nightcrawler and Legion, they're going to enact their final plan. And that requires dust. An individual that can connect billions of particles without any kind of effort, turning the sands literally the least amazing thing about her. And Legion tells her, saying that your name is dust, whoever gave you that name, they didn't do you any kind of service. Because a better name for her would be congregation. And we see her disperse into dust, spreading out through everything. We see her connecting all of the minds, connecting everybody inside of Legion's mind, inside of this pocket universe. And we are seeing that all the minds in this place, they are connecting, becoming one, becoming a weapon. And this is what Nightcrawler means by the spark. This is what he has been trying to create. The spark is not some kind of new mutant religion. This is a way of living, of loving and expressing and fighting and being. It moves them to adapt without any kind of restraint. It does not require any kind of prayer. It does not demand you to put away your old gods. The spark is not a jealous. The spark is innovation. It's risk, mischief, courage. The spark is creativity, patience, brilliance, bright beauty. And yet it has no form or no mind. The spark barely being real at all. The spark is simply just an idea. And with all of these mutants connected as one, with this spark being wielded, they completely surround Onslaught. They bring him down to nothing, and Nightcrawler deals the deathly blow. And this is the day that the mutants defeated Onslaught yet again. This is the day where this pocket dimension created something brand new for mutantkind. Something to help them continue to drive on, to continue to move forward. This is no cult, this is no religion. This is now ingrained in their culture. And lucky for them, the astral plane that the altar is created in, it is absolutely enormous. And there's a little bit of everything here, from stories to music to entertainment. A place where mutants can come and they can connect with one another in a way that has never been possible before. Where you can truly become one with your mutant brethren. And with all of this going on, Nightcrawler, he has something else in mind. While this was just the beginning, he wants this place to be his HQ, his headquarters for what he is proposing to build. He wants something that's going to defend this, to protect it for all time. And so he doesn't necessarily want mutant cops or mutant Jedi or anything like that. He was thinking something more along the line of Legionnaires. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This one was definitely tons of information. We're seeing a final resolution to everything that has been going on with this Onslaught story, the Way of X story. Now, I did see some rumors out there that was hypothesizing that maybe Onslaught wasn't actually real and he was just an equivalent to the devil. And while you could technically say that, I think it's so much more than that. Because they didn't create a religion. This isn't a cult. They're creating a kind of unity that would never be possible without this interconnection of minds. Without this ability to really be able to understand one another. Feel each other's pains and sorrows and happiness and love and guilt. Everything on the table. Connecting you in a way you've never been connected before. And by proxy, this is going to make the entirety of Krakoa stronger. It will make all of mutantkind stronger. Because you are creating bonds that simply cannot be created outside of freaking firefights and explosions. And even then, you're not nearly touching what it would be like to connect your mind to somebody else's. To have that feeling that that person is you. You are them. And so I have to say, just freaking wow. From Way of X to now, this entire story arc has been absolutely amazing. What they have done with Nightcrawler, what they did with Onslaught, how they used Legion. Oh my god, just perfection. At least that's my takeaway on it. I absolutely love this story. I love the idea of the altar, this more or less heavenly place where everybody can come and they can connect with one another. They can truly be safe. They can truly just be themselves. They can discover who they are, what they like, what they love. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.